Hello and welcome to the Anonkun Community Podcast for the 28th of January 2017. With us, we have our host E1488. How are you doing, E?
I'm tired and I would rather be playing video games. I'm great. How are you? Oh, and I want to kill myself. How are you?
Well, it's about the same. Hexer, tell us about yourself.
Also about the quest you run.
Nothing right now. Currently, I'm mostly running certain RPGs. Used to run A Tale of Witches and Conic Cyber Quest, and I'm basically here because I have nothing better to
I have
do.
no idea what the fuck you
I'm
said.
kind of... What? Certain.
Okay, go on. Or are you done?
So, Mage, let's move on to you because Hexer can't talk to save his life.
Yeah, I'm
Rude.
still Mage. I still run Pokemon Quest and Academagia Quest on Anonkun. And I don't know what to add that I haven't already said last time, but I'm here anyway.
Ah,
And
yeah,
you
You
please.
sound really depressed about being on.
and you're a player, Moloch, right? You don't run any quests.
No, I run quests on 4chan. The QSD board, obviously nowadays.
Why the
I
fuck
currently
aren't you marked down as someone who makes quests in that case? Give me a
He's
second.
never posted anything in the podcast server before.
Because DMC sucks as usual.
Yeah, that helps.
Well, I
never
suck.
do.
DMC still the server owner?
Yeah, I mean he's an administrator technically, but I can change roles. So can you, I think. No, you can't.
No, you took that away for some reason.
I did. I can't change roles.
So
I
is this
can only give
podcast
people
now
them.
about the podcast itself?
Yes.
Oh yeah, go on. You should talk about yourself. Tell
So,
us about your quest.
I run Northern Beast Quest on 4chan's QSD board.
Holy
is
shit!
about
Really
as
good.
A
horrible
quest
as it
that's
sounds.
actually good.
Oh,
Yeah, the one good quest on QSD.
well, there was another good quest on QST. It was the one I ran before it. Haha.
I forgot it
I
was on
mean,
QSD.
there are good quests on QSD. There
They're
just
just
aren't
not.
any good quests that started on QST.
That
No,
actually.
no, that's wrong.
No.
I mean,
All
Lamplighter
the
was
PG
decent.
migrants were shit, basically.
Do you think?
Or they died.
I thought you liked Banished Quest.
Yeah, of course I like my own quest, but I haven't run it in. Jeez, I haven't run it in a while. I ran that
Why
one
are you
off
running
back
it
in.
right now?
You ran last
because
week.
I
You know.
am a hack. I didn't run last week. You fucking asshole.
Banished
It was
ran
like
last week,
3
man.
weeks ago.
2
It's
weeks ago,
fucking
fine.
two or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 30th of December, huh? Last month.
No, it ran more recently than that. What are you talking
Not even
about?
this time.
Wait, has that tweet been deleted or? No, fuck you. It ran on the 30th of December. It ran on. It literally says on my Twitter the 30th of December.
No, it ran
2016.
5th of
And
January.
nobody would ever lie on Twitter.
No, it didn't. Fuck you.
No, it ran on.
30th of
It
January.
ran in fucking January.
For shame,
No, it
E.
didn't.
For shame.
Go and fucking look it up. It
Oh
didn't
no,
run
wait.
in January.
It was just archived in January.
Yeah, fuck you, you cunt. Don't look at fucking stuff TT. And it only ran on the 30th of January, and then I never post another update because I'm a hack and a terrible person. And quite frankly, I should kill myself for dropping my quest. What's our topic today, by the way? Is it shitting on?
It's shitting on me.
server? Yeah.
So-
our
You
main
suck at
topic is
Magica.
So
what? Oh, Spuds. Why are you playing Magic 2? That game is shit. You should play the first one. Anyway, main topic is, are players dumb? Yeah.
that is
Yep.
not our topic, but we
Oh,
can
sorry,
discuss that. That's a
yeah,
better topic anyway. We can do it again.
Okay, you pinned it, and it had an everyone, and I just looked at the first one, and I was sort of leaning over, so that was
It's
eye
not
level
pinned,
with me.
actually.
It's character descriptions, how much is too little? I think we should definitely have Hexer answer that first, because he goes with paragraphs of fucking incomprehensible description for everything.
What? Come again?
You should tell us about how you describe characters, because you do paragraphs of indecipherable description for everything. That was the joke. I thought it was quite funny, but no one here is going to get it.
I basically
except
signal
with
dropped
shit
that.
written.
No, essentially, character descriptions. It really depends. It really depends on the job the character has, essentially. If the character is more of a friend to the main character, then you will describe their personality more. If they are more of a recurring character but not core cast, then you will focus more on the appearance. It all depends on the exact job that the character plays in story. Of course, if you are, for example, describing a love interest, you will try to incorporate several senses at once. You will want to describe a smell, you want to describe the way she moves, you want to describe her voice. So the more important, the more sense you incorporate. If it's a character that comes maybe once every scene, and then we'll focus on appearance, because as humans and especially as men, because let's face it, most quest players are men, we focus very much on the visual. So you will try to pick out certain key visual characteristics.
All of that is dumb. No, stop it.
No, fuck you. That was legitimate writing advice, you smug cunt. Please kill yourself.
Write your own quest first. That's what he's saying.
Sure, whatever.
Well, this is nice.
I think you.
Okay, Moloch, how do you describe characters? Go, quick.
I
Or don't
usually
be quick. Do
stick with short descriptions. Usually give people a various character tech and keep things vague.
So you
Oh, he
were
has-
Spuds' dream QM. Spuds,
Well,
this
no,
is
I
where
just-
you jump in.
No,
I don't like to put too much detail in, because I inevitably forget later on and put contradictory things. Are you dragging your microphone across a desk?
but
I think he's readjusting it or something.
I think you should have. You should only have visual details which actually have relevance in the story itself. Like someone being a redhead is significant if they're going to be in disguise or something.
So you never describe someone's hair unless it's relevant, really?
Well, I mean,
So they're just
hair is
hair
usually relevant when it comes to people's perception.
Really? Okay, but not the color. Okay, that's
I
apparently.
mean, the color of the hair is significant, but no.
Okay, so you do describe the color no matter what's going to happen, right?
Well, it depends. Not necessarily.
It
Not
doesn't
every
depend, You just said
character.
it was significant.
Yeah, it's significant, but you don't have significant details for insignificant characters. There's a conservation of detail involved. So if the character
Yeah,
is
that's
unimportant,
common
you
sense.
obviously don't. You might not necessarily describe the color of their hair.
You might not. Okay, sure. Mage, what do you think about character description?
Well, what he said is quite correct. If the character is like some throwaway village guard that's gonna be killed 5 minutes after speaking to you, then I'm not gonna bother describing him too much. But for more important characters, well, I'm a hack, so I use pictures. And
Oh, fucking
I
kill
also
yourself.
use descriptions, so I piss off everyone.
That's bad, I suppose. But if you pull a fucking DMC and instead of describing anything, you just put a big fucking picture in the middle of your quest, you're fucking disgusting. You're
Yeah,
a
you should
wuss.
basically kill yourself.
Yes,
Shouldn't we all?
exactly. And end it all now.
Because
Nah, I'm too lazy for that.
I don't think that's the sort of thing which will stop you from ever really improving, I think.
Yeah, like DMC.
Like DMC. Because
Has he got any better since he runs Slime Quest? He's got
I don't
worse,
know.
actually.
I don't know. I've
You don't read his-
I haven't read him.
I
Really.
read Cyber Demon at some point, but I don't remember it. So
I start and then I keep being distracted by images every 5 seconds, so I can't continue.
here's a new quest according to Food. What the fuck is this? The upward spiral where God lies. Oh, edgy. What the fuck is this? Every year, 1 million participants come towards the spiral, a tunnel piercing through the skies. Every year, there is one left to attain the heart's. This sounds shit.
So it's
People
some
fighting for
it's some
weird
sort of
dark powers
shonen
played by
thing, I
JoJo's
think.
Bizarre Adventure. Oh, yeah, okay. Tower of God. Yeah, I'm closing this tab. I'm gonna ping DMC.
Wait, he has another quest already?
He's got fucking ADHD or
is-
something. He's
Skips
making an
about on it.
RPG Maker game. And he was doing the podcast, and then he dropped it to make his game. And now he's running a quest. And I presume he's going to drop his game for the quest.
and but he hasn't really done anything on his quest though.
Yeah, well, that's what he's like.
Yeah, he was doing some sort of Persona quest. I don't like Persona. I haven't never played Persona, so I didn't read it.
He also doing something about cyberpunk
Yeah,
monsters,
that was
cannibal
Cyber Demon
monsters.
Quest. He was doing a digital Devil Saga, but more robots than
That was a
general
really
magic
cool
demons.
idea, actually.
It was a
You know,
good idea, and then he dropped it.
Dropped it like a sack of wet shite.
Oh, that's right. He got banned, and then he dropped
Oh
it.
yeah, of course, it's campus internet.
I'm sure it was his campus. He didn't post child pornography or anything. That wasn't why.
Well,
he
I
was banned.
wouldn't want to make any accusations.
Yeah. Just subtly implying.
So
But-
do we actually have a topic to discuss, or
That
are we
was
just
that
shitting on
topic.
Yeah.
DMC?
We just
What's the
did.
topic?
But I
What's
gotta
the
say,
topic?
fuck descriptions. Fuck all
you.
descriptions.
Fuck you.
No.
Fuck
Doesn't matter how
you,
long they are.
you
No
cunt.
one
You
describes
want
fucking
no one
anything.
described then. You want all these fucking faceless, voiceless
No,
personality.
They're going to have voices.
Okay,
they're
personalities. You
they're obviously going to have voices because they're going to speak. If they speak,
Okay, so what
get
you want,
voices from
what
context.
you want is Homestuck, but without any of the images. You just want fucking chat logs, right?
Not really. I mean, there's
Yeah,
there
that's
can
what
still
you
be
want.
descriptions of actions and so on, but describing
so
characters.
you want Homestuck, but with the images, but all the characters are just like blank sprites. Is that what you want? Is that what you're fucking telling me? But with
Concept
what?
just gave me
Basic.
cancer.
So you don't want
Thank you.
Homestuck at all, but you want something that vaguely works in this vague, fucking horrible metaphor I'm using. Yeah, is that what you're saying, Spuds?
Well, it's a fucking novel. You don't really need. It's not images. No matter how much you remove descriptions, it's not going to be fucking images. It's going to be
But-
less images the more you remove. Less like
Okay,
images.
so what you're telling me is that you're shit, and you know nothing about writing, and that you are. I forgot what I was going to say. Something insulting, I'm sure.
No, I was exaggerating in order to get someone to actually fucking say anything.
No, I'm well aware. That's fine. That's completely fine. You may have noticed I do the same.
Well, and honestly, to an extent, I think that descriptions are generally a bit too long. The way people write online, there's a
Right.
reason. There's a fucking reason why published novels are like cover twice the content in like half the space.
But that
Because
reason
those
isn't
are proper
solely
authors?
down to the writing style of online authors. It's also due to the format that quests are run in.
I mean, it's not specific to quests. It's all sort of web stuff. Web novels have the
web
same problems.
novels. I
If
don't know,
you're
they've got
not
like a Patreon or something,
using
you want to
good
draw
paragraphs to describe someone's swirly ass eyes, you can get out of my face.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at published novels, they generally have shorter descriptions than web stuff does, and that's because descriptions are often superfluous in web stuff, and that's what a lot of editors' job is, to remove that shit.
I wouldn't say that descriptions are superfluous. I would say that they are clumsily written and thus.
No,
too
I
long.
mean, there are superfluous details in most descriptions in quests, is what I'm saying.
All right, I don't think you'll find anyone here arguing that published authors are generally of lower quality than online authors.
You just
Wait, of lower quality. Okay, yeah. QMs are way better than real authors, to be quite frank with you. I would read. Hang on, I need to think of a QM. Fucking hell. I'd read Malefica over, I don't know, Code Vonnegut every day. What?
Well,
no one
it
found
really-
it
I
interesting?
think
And speaking of
That
Kurt
was
Vonnegut, isn't that a guy who never does any descriptions at all, basically in his books? Like Breakfast of
No,
Champions,
he does
not a single
descriptions. What the
description.
fuck? No, he does descriptions. What the fuck? are you
He
talking about?
does, but does Breakfast of Champion really have such a lot of descriptions? I don't think it does. I think it's
You
very
think I
minimal.
read many books, man? I read some books, and one of them was by this man. So.
Okay, sure. What did you read by Kurt Vonnegut?
The famous one about the war. And I
Slaughterhouse
want to read another
5.
one of his books, but I'm lazy. Yeah, that.
If you're just tuning
Okay,
in, we are
good-
here
good
on the
luck.
Anonkun Literary Podcast.
You
This
can-
is
yeah,
a fucking
okay.
questing podcast. You can't
Oh,
do
we're not
questing
Kurt
without
Vonnegut.
discussing literature. Fuck you.
Yeah, books are quests,
Yeah,
basically.
but
books
we're
are
not.
quests without
We're
any
discussing
choices.
quests, not Kurt Vonnegut.
No.
Well,
I mean, we could discuss Kurt Vonnegut.
isn't Kurt Vonnegut relevant to the subject of quests?
Not in any way, no. I don't think a single
Well,
QM
it's
has
like-
taken inspiration
And
from Kurt
Fiddlekin
Vonnegut.
says, considering quests to be an actual form of literature in green text. And you know what? I didn't say that quests are literature. I said literature are to an extent related to literature. In that you could
I mean,
take
they
lessons
both
from
use
literature
words,
and apply them
yes.
to quests.
And things happen in quests and things happen in literature. And often they're both written in English. So, a lot of similarities.
I mean, I just slap the keyboard and stuff happens. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Monkeys and
something really
typewriters, eh?
Do you think someone could actually make a book out of a quest and have it be successful on the market? Any quest?
It
The
would,
quest would work.
you'd have to get
Yeah.
an actually good quest, though. And
Do you think Promises of Power could
And you'd
become
also
a
have to edit
book?
it.
Yeah, you'd need
Yeah,
a good
but you'd
meta
really
to
have to edit it a
make-
lot.
rewrite huge
Just
sections
basically
of the
rewrite
quest.
it from the.
I honestly...
Shadow Quest could possibly work. Shadow Quest
Yeah, I
could
was
Kaza
thinking Shadow Quest.
says Banished maybe with some editing, but I don't actually agree. I think Banished only works because it is a quest, in a lot of ways. I don't think that...
Banished could work as like a CRPG because
Well,
it doesn't
yes,
have
it would
any
be
like,
excellent as
main
that.
story for a novel or anything. There are no real character arcs or anything. It's
The
just,
main
like,
character is
dicking
also
around
not
in
really
fields.
suitable as a main character in a novel, even if it's
Mm.
suitable as a quest protagonist.
You could do something.
I think
like
Ryokuza
Joke.
Quest could actually
Good as a
work
light
quite
novel.
well as a novel.
Wait, what was that?
Because I think Ryokuza Quest, what Xeonbark's storyteller runs, I think it
No,
could actually work
no.
quite well as a novel.
Kill yourself.
I mean,
Fuck
yeah,
excess.
blah
Fuck
blah,
excess.
it's shit,
Fuck
blah blah.
you. No.
I mean,
don't know.
I
I've never
sup-
read
For a very
any of her
specific
fucking
audience.
writings.
I mean, I suppose it could work on the Japanese web market, but they take everything, you know. And
That's true.
only market worse than the Western one. Western web market. That's the worst one. Except maybe like Amazon self-published. They're the worst.
There's always the Chinese web novel market. That's what you can't get worse than.
That's actually true. Chinese web novels are marginally
Garbage.
worse than Japanese.
It's wholly derivative of Japanese shit, but they manage to be even worse.
I mean, they have some of their own stuff as well, which is a bit like based on classical Chinese novels.
Oh,
and stuff.
hang on, Fitz is getting fucking snippy here. So, gonna explain why you think Ryakuza wouldn't work beyond setting it? No,
I mean,
because
it would
haven't read
work.
I just don't like Access much.
Ryakuza is just not very good.
Hang on, I'm gonna have to fuck off for a few minutes, thanks.
I gotta admit that I haven't actually read that quest, so I can't.
I have to
offer
admit, I only read the first
opinion.
3 threads at some point, and I didn't remember nothing from it except that it was shit, and it was in harem, and harems are shit.
I think it could potentially be quite successful with a specific audience.
I mean,
you know,
are Yuri
anything.
harems even that popular outside of like the questing community? I don't think so. Not even the Japanese market has
You
any of
see-
that stuff. Even the
But to a certain
Japanese
degree,
light novels market.
I would say to a certain degree it would actually be strengths because, let's say,
I
would
said
love
Yuri harems, Fiddlekins. Listen.
Yuri. I think that too. It depends how you market it. For example, DeviantArts.com has quite a bit of traffic, and it has at least, I think, 12 harem stores that update on a regular cycle.
But is that we were talking about publishing? DeviantArt is not a
I'm
publishing place.
Yeah, I'm kind of jumping.
I'm just saying I don't think Yuri Yakuza would work on the basis that it's a Yuri harem, and that's not really a something that has a market.
Possibly.
Or what do you think, Moloch? Does it? Who would buy that?
Well, it's possible that there's an untapped niche. And I'm not saying I mean, if I knew exactly where the market lay, I'd be on that like plate on rice. I would be writing any derivative crap and publishing it and making bank. I'm just saying it's virtually impossible to predict what would be publishing it. I don't think anyone expected Twilight to be the success it did, or 50 Shades of Grey, what have you. They're not spectacular literature, but they sold well, and it works.
Well,
It tapped a niche.
that place already existed. There was a place in the market for that stuff. It existed before. Like paranormal romance did not start with Twilight. There was an already existing market for it. It didn't just pop out of nowhere. It increased the market size, but the market was still pretty significant before Twilight. I don't think Yuri harems have that same level of market, and I don't think they can get the same level of market.
I can.
Well, because even lesbian porn, straight up, like when it comes to lesbian porn, most of it is directed at men, I think, but more women watch it for in some sort of odd connection. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I gotta echo Hexer here. No.
Well, Fiddlekins says Q Spuds defending 50 Shades of Grey, and I say I defend anything which makes money.
Yeah, okay, well, really sticking to your fucking stereotype here, Spots. It's 2017. You don't need to be the typical money-grubbing duo, okay? We've moved beyond that.
Basically, my point is, I don't think we can explicitly say this would definitely not ever work published. Stuff can surprise you. At the same time, I don't think we can say this would definitely work.
Sure, there might be some
I mean, there are some
untapped niches or something.
proper narratives and so on, and they'd be suitable for adaptation without much editing, I suppose you can say. A lot of dead air this episode, huh?
And I think that while predicting whether something will make money is difficult, there are certain things which are more likely to make money. And even in the subject of what quests, when adapted, would make more money, I don't think Ryukuza is like what the market wants.
You could definitely make a trilogy out of Shadow Quest however. You just cut it and then just make a trilogy out of Shadow
But with the
Quest and
same
break it
ending.
all that DeviantArt money.
So then you disappoint the audience, an even larger audience with the shitty fucking sci-fi ending.
Is pedophilia actually a market?
Yes.
What? Wait, what?
Well,
Is
it's
pedophilia
Look,
market?
Shadow
the wife
Quest,
master
man.
lorry came
Don't you remember?
far later.
Comet Ping Pong does pretty well, yeah. Is that?
I mean,
come on. These are fucking good jokes, and you just go, fuck me.
we can argue specific quests all day, but I'd say that this question in general could work commercially with
What?
the right people working at it.
Really? Maybe, but you'd need some fucking machine-like QMs. Although I suppose if you're getting paid for it, it'd be pretty easy to be a machine like. But I don't know.
I mean, pay me and I'll pump out some words. That's not the hard part.
You know, you can. You can just go to DeviantArt right now and start writing on commission and make a bunch of money if you're willing to actually put in work.
Write furry porn, though.
Yeah, exactly. You can write furry porn and make tons
you
of
could write
cash.
furry porn quests, that's right.
Chan Community Podcast.
The very worst.
Well, you know, you can always say at least I'm not those guys over there. Got some questions in the question room.
Thank you, Moloch. I was just wondering what the fuck we were going to do about it. Our favorite moment in QMing? That's a good question, Moloch, since you're the only real QM here. Well, I suppose it's Mage. What's your favorite moment as a QM?
I mean, Hexer was pretty popular back in the day, even if he hasn't written something in like 2 years or whatever.
I like to shit on Hexer because he dropped his quest.
Even though you didn't read it.
Favorite moment to write? Thing.
Yes. Well, to QM in general, I suppose, so that's a bit vaguely broader.
Good question. I say probably when I was writing my first quest, London, Devil Summoner London, there was a bit right at the end where basically the entire world was burning down, and the characters all ran away, basically. I'm not going to say it was my best writing ever, but for whatever reason, writing it I really quite enjoyed. I found writing it very exciting.
The
Sort of a
characters
runaway
all
from
ran
the-
away?
Well, the world was burning around down their fucking ears. Yeah, you'd run away too.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I like that sort of thing. That's the sort of event that only happens in quests, since people make those sort of stories don't happen in normal novels or whatever, because people feel like people don't want to read about people running away from shit because they're terrified in general. So, since quest readers often have an interest in like staying alive, and they'll retreat at odd times despite having been aggressive all the while. There's some non-standard stories to be found in quests, which is what interests me about quests in general.
I mean, sure, there's non-standard stories, but chase scenes aren't really that non-standard. Like, I know that I've read books where that start with the character.
Okay, I might have misunderstood.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to say it was the most original thing, or just probably one of the things I most enjoyed writing.
I
can't really say
thought
why.
when you meant everybody ran away, I thought you meant like on a story level, but you're saying they were running from something specific.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a very single specific point in the world which was not going to explode, and they had to run away to that specific not exploding point, because not exploding was their main...
Okay, I misunderstood, sorry. I thought they completely retreated from the storyline entirely. That I was confused, sorry.
Okay, this is a good podcast so far.
I think I get what you're talking about. You mean like on a fuck this, I'm not dealing with this level?
Like almost happened...
You know what that happens in?
Like
Joker Quest.
No, I meant like what almost happened in Darkgate Academy. And you mean like recently in Joker Quest, the last update where they...
I mean, at some point in the last 5 years that Joker Quest has been running, Joker has definitely bitched out of things.
I just mean that they bitched out entirely, like the story is fucking over because everybody left the situation.
Yeah, we fucked. Yeah, that's sort of happened. People have fucked off remarks and so on.
Okay.
Not the entire story, but
I have to read Joker Quest someday. Is there a paste bin or something?
There is a paste.
I mean, a paste.
There's like no compilation of all the story posts, but you're gonna have to go through the archives.
So I'm going to have to go through the archives. Sure. Okay.
Yes.
Fine.
Well, you want the audience participation of Joker Quest, so you can see all the brilliant ideas going on.
Yeah. You can
No, I just don't think I can be very invested in Joker Quest. So I thought maybe if there was an archive, which there might be for such a long running quest. I could just get a web. I could get an e-novel version and put it on my Kindle and read it on the train or something.
Nah, you're gonna have to read on the archives, right? And you can appreciate all the, as Moloch said, quality player participation.
Well, such is life. You don't get everything you want.
You'll get to see the original Such Defiance post.
Ah, that was magical. I'd seen it referenced so many times, and actually reading it myself, I was laughing straight for 5 minutes just at the absurdity of it.
It came back I don't quite remember, like in the semi-final arc of the quest, the QN fucking reference. It was pretty decent. I don't fucking remember what form it took, but it happened. Anyway, that was autistic of me to say. Hexer, what's your favorite moment in QMing?
As a
Dropping a
general,
quest?
yes.
Is that actually going to be your answer or what?
No, it's a general favorite moment is always when I can. That's difficult to explain, but essentially each time when I can.
Oh, your
live the
your
pla-
internet is fucked again. Just saying. God
He
damn it.
sounds sort of fine to me.
Well, it's
Sort
it's
of.
there's
He
there's
sounds
gaps
like
in when he
Hexer,
speaks.
so-
It just disappears for a
I
moment.
think that's actually him stopping or letting go of his push to talk.
Oh, okay. I would not say there's a singular moment. It's more a series of moments. As a general rule, I always enjoy it when I can introduce a new character or when I can describe a new facet of a character. For example, when a previously stern character has a moment where she's soft, or when a shy character suddenly switches to standing up for herself, or when the previously kind of bookish person suddenly really seems to have a soul. These kinds of moments are actually what I work towards, what I strive towards, what I build up towards. So let's not say there is a singular moment, but each of these moments that in themselves are precious to me.
I see. So you enjoy gay character shit then?
If you say so. If you say so.
Alright,
Character development is pretty great.
Hmm?
Development is pretty great as a thing.
Indeed.
Well, don't you have literal gay character shit in your quests? Like gay characters?
Yeah, he did run a Yuri quest.
I wouldn't say it was a Yuri quest per se. It was
Instantly.
yeah, it had Yuri in it.
That's the same
Like,
thing.
I don't mean like a
No.
Yuri quest, just a quest that also had Yuri,
Mhm.
which is almost as bad.
That would
as
be
a-
the accurate description.
No, but
focus on
honestly, it was a Yuri quest. Compare it to Promises of Power, which is a quest with Yuri in it. There's no comparison, really. You had a much larger
Also-
focus on it.
Yeah, and then you attracted Krasmer as a player. It must have been a Yuri quest. That's gonna
Well,
fly
that's
over the heads
definitely-
of like the two people who are listening to this as a podcast.
I can't even fucking hear what the hell you're saying.
Me or Hexter. I can move my microphone closer if you'd like that, Spuds. In that ASMR.
Put everything on a more intimate level.
Or if you'd like to run the podcast like that, we can do that. Here's a question
Should we
from.
leave? That's a question from me. Should we leave and leave you two alone?
Oh,
No, it's better in public. We've got a question from Blue here. At what point is it acceptable to just set the quest on fire, kill the waifus, and quit the hobby? At the most dramatic moment, the most incongruous moment.
The very
It's
first
funny
update.
coming from Blue because he's done that.
Flip, that is a very cynical question to ask, and I'm ashamed of you.
Yeah, I mean, who would just drop their quest like that? Who would delete all their quests from Anonkun and then have to come and ask the administrator to bring them all back and then delete them again?
Well, I literally don't actually know that, so I'm not very up on Anonkun.
Blip did that. That's a joke. I thought it was quite funny. Okay,
Too
I'm
much.
clearly a terrible human being. Do you question for Hexer? Apparently from Fids. Do you have any plans or mere considerations of running quests in the future? What sort of plot would you be interested in running? Or dyke shit, I'm sure.
I'm actually kind of interested in running quests again. Sort of plot I've been interested in. That's probably a bad omen, but I've been interested in sort of how to put this. In sort of picking up Cologne's legacy and sort of making a space sci-fi, space opera kind of thing with mercenaries and the like. So
Whose legacy?
her Cologne, you know,
I vaguely remember that.
Can someone post it in chat so I because I
It's
can't
not-
quite hear.
You can't actually understand what he's saying, is that it?
Yeah,
He
I have
deleted
no
it.
idea what he's saying.
Okay, anyway, forget it. Basically, I want to run a space opera eventually.
Good. That.
Fids,
where are you
I
gonna
think
run it,
I think he
actually?
literally said he was done in his legacy, as it was.
Oh, Kalian. Okay, that's
Kalian, yeah,
alright.
Kalian,
Okay, I thought you
Kalian.
were saying like Cologne, and I just assumed it was some QM I didn't know. But okay,
I
Kalian.
thought it was related to
I
the German
perfectly understand
city.
this now. You thought he was talking about what, rape or something?
No, I knew it wasn't, but it
no.
sounded like he
It
was.
a mass New Year's Eve,
Oh,
right?
for
I see.
heaven's sake.
Wasn't that groping instead of actual rape? I mean, it's same real idea,
I
but
think it was just sexual assault. Just sexual assault, yeah. I had something else to say and I've forgotten it. Fuck.
well, maybe we should just quietly move on from that bit.
So,
30 minutes in.
so what are you, Moloch? Are you Irish or some shit?
Scottish.
How can you not
Scottish.
tell? How can you not tell he's Scottish? What?
I'm fucking Swedish, man. I don't know. You wouldn't
You've
be
been
able.
subsumed in Western culture your entire life. You should be able to specifically tell that it's a Scottish accent. It doesn't sound Irish at all. What?
I don't know, man. I'm not very good at this shit.
Yeah, you clearly aren't. Fucking hell.
Right.
Have you got any better questions than what What the fuck are you, Mage? You're German, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm German. It's Köln, by the way.
Fuck.
Two Germans on the podcast, yeah.
Well, Hexer is Austrian. That's silently different.
Well, it's
Austrians
are the
brain,
it's German.
Germans are the brawn.
It's German with more genocide.
I
As it should
I
be.
suppose, yeah, more.
As it should be.
See, now finally, 30 minutes in, you're talking at a 40 minutes in, I'm sorry, you're talking at a decent volume.
What
There
can
are
I
no more
say?
questions in the question
Important
room, I
things
can
need to be underscored.
What important things are we? There's nothing in the question room. Fuck me.
There was a question for
no, wait, hang on.
Mage.
Oh, didn't I read? Oh yeah, fuck. I thought I did read it. Mage, what drew you to questing, my man? Made you decide to sit down one day and write one. What keeps you going? In fact, everyone can answer that, but Mage first.
Well, mostly the freedom of choice that you have when you write a quest. It was mostly when I played RPGs and I was dissatisfied with the lack of options that I decided, well, maybe I could write a story like this. And then I stumbled upon, I don't know, Fortune maybe? Yeah, probably Fortune was the first. And after that, the forum-style quests on space battles and sufficient velocity. And then I one day decided that I should write some myself and not just criticize others.
So I have a. Yeah, well, I also thought it was starting at 6. And I actually decide when things start, so it's not just you, Laro.
Every time.
One more
But
Dead Space.
yeah, no, I have a question here.
No, fuck you. I wanted to know what drew a Moloch to questing.
Well, I'm afraid there's no real interesting story here. I was sitting on the bus and thought, I've got an idea. I'll run a quest. That's literally it. I just thought, hey, this would be a cool idea. I've got free time. Why not?
That's
It'd be a terrible disaster.
genuinely inspiring. As pathetic as it is, you just had an idea and then you ran with it. Holy fuck!
Yeah, I did like a day of preparation and just thought, yeah, fuck it, do it.
I feel like shit now. I spent months preparing.
Wait,
okay.
you did a day of preparation? I had like
Yeah, holy
6
fuck!
hours
What
or
the hell?
something.
Well, I had like a few hours on the boss, then a few
Well, he's
hours
also
more
running
at
a
home,
fanfic quest, I suppose. But
and just
that
thought, you
helps.
know, yeah, sure, I like Devil Summoner, the game. Can't even pronounce the Japanese stuff about it, but you know, why not? I didn't actually think it would work. I thought it would crash and burn, but you know, it didn't. More or less.
Hexer,
I
what
never
drew you to
said
questing?
anything about 1.5 hours ago.
Right.
I said in
I'm still
half an
reading that.
hour.
Huh. Okay,
never
fuck off. Hexer, what drew you to questing?
That's a good question. I'm actually not
RPGs you
entirely
don't
sure.
have to deal with, sort of.
actually
Is it
include.
RPGs you don't have to deal with players, sort of?
Wait, what?
Just
One
answer
second.
what drew you to questing. Don't worry about my pointless.
No,
additional
my
questions.
headphones just fucked.
Oh, I
up
see. That's what
completely.
you've been struggling with.
Yeah.
I can go to Spuds then. What drew you to questing, you cunt?
No, I don't make quests. But
What drew you
Yeah,
to
but
questing
you
as a
read
whole then, you
quests.
fucking...
what
you
drew me
wanna run a quest.
what drew me
What makes
to
you
questing
want to
as a
run a
whole?
quest?
I basically wanted to play games with other people online, and I hadn't heard about about tabletop RPGs being played online. So I looked around, and I eventually found quests. I don't know how I didn't find open what's it called, freeform roleplay or whatever. But the way it turned out, I found quests instead at the age of 11.
Wait, you found quests at 11?
Yes.
Yeah, right, you started on TG. Fuck me. Explains why you're the monstrosity you are.
Well,
Extra,
I suppose that's true enough.
Extra, you prepared to answer what made you interested, made you want to run a quest? Or are you still struggling with your headphones?
No. It works now. Several things. One of them was simply, let's be honest, spite. Because people kept bitching about quests on the G, shooting up the entire place with meta threads, being generally cans to each other, and thought, why? Okay. If they are complaining about the cancer, then I might as well become the cancer.
Wait, so you ran quests just as shitpost?
Surprisingly
That explains a
inspirational.
lot about what you ran.
How so?
I don't know. That just seemed like something funny to say. No, it
It
perfectly
wasn't.
does. I
I'm
guess.
sorry.
Well, you just. I know. I say a lot of things. I try them out, and half of 7/8 of them don't actually work.
So
I mean, it kind of does, in that you just ran rapid fire quests for a while, like the urban shaman thing and the other quests that I can't really remember off the top of my head. But it does make some sense.
No, really, that was in a way one part of it. Other part of it was simply the desire to, how to say it, to basically try out certain ideas that I had in a way that would not be constrained by rules. I wasn't too experienced with RPGs.
And then you could get your dick sucked for.
Speaking of urban shaman, why the fuck are there so many fucking urban magic something named quests?
Twilight.
And why are they all so fucking
Twilight.
shit?
I
No,
mean,
there's
quest.
nothing.
Because
quests.
it's an interesting idea, and no
Yeah,
one can
yeah, the
actually get it
problem
right.
is-
So everyone thinks
yeah.
they can do it properly. They can't.
No, the problem with urban fantasy is essentially that it
No, it's not just urban fantasy. It's that specific name structure. You have urban, and then you have like some sort of name
no,
for
no,
magic
no,
user.
Hold
Like
on.
regular modern
That's
fantasy,
that's
that's right.
actually no, that's actually exactly the problem. because the urban X thing, it is essentially the quintessential it highlights a quintessential problem with urban fantasy. The quintessential problem with urban fantasy
Is that you take fantasy shit and just put it in the modern day.
exactly, and that means nobody has to do any work. You just say, okay, and then there was vampires, and then there was vampires, and you don't really put any thought into it. You don't put any effort into it. You simply slap one cliche into the modern world, and then try to make it work, and usually it doesn't, or rather, usually the sort of person would be filled it out, but trying to make a coherent fantasy universe just goes to urban fantasy, and there's a thing there. It's sort of like how most portal porn is extremely bad because someone who would try source filmmaker porn would either become good or just give up. It's a sort of filter, a gatekeeper, if you will.
You really put far too
Okay,
much thought into what you're saying on this podcast, Hexer.
How
This is
so?
too informative for something no one's going to listen to.
What can I say? It's just
Right,
how
now
I do
I have a
things.
question, and this is mostly at Moloch, but also at Hexer. Moloch, you mentioned that you had like 1 day of preparation before you decided to run your quest, and I mentioned that I also didn't really have much preparation. And we see E and Spuds taking the opposite approach. What is your thoughts on how much time you should spend on a quest before you actually write up the first session?
Well, that kind of varies because my later quests I have done a lot more preparation for, whereas my first one I just ran heat of the moment while I still had the inspiration. I figured if I waited and thought things out more, I'd lose the urge. But ultimately, I do think the quest suffered for it a bit because I didn't quite think through a bunch of stuff to sort of change, or not stuff up as I was going along, and it didn't always work out okay.
You have any examples of some shit you fucked up?
Not exactly a
Definitely Leon.
mistake I made, but there was one character I planned and ended up dramatically changing at a later point because the original version wouldn't have made sense.
You're breaking up there a bit.
He's got a shit internet connection.
Well, what if you
Oh,
what if you had taken that character and kept the inconsistencies and had that all be like a fake persona that character had put on and remained consistent?
Would have worked. I wouldn't say there was any reason why that couldn't work. It just didn't occur to me at the time.
Alright, fair
that's
enough.
fair. He was running fucking 3 days a week for God knows how many months, like 2 or 3 months. Did you even miss a single thread when you were running double summon?
I think I did actually. I started slipping later, but when I was getting into it, I ran really quite
Yeah, it was a disgustingly constant schedule. Fucking horrifying, honestly.
I'm gonna check out your quest. I've never played Devil Summoner
was probably terrible.
It's more similar to
from what you
Nocturne than Devil Summoner.
But I need
or
to
SNT
I respect
rather than
anybody
SNT
with
Devil
I respect anybody with the dedication to remain consistent.
You should read Sleeping Gods, honestly. It's much better written.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't mean Devil Summoner in particular. Some quest by you, Moloch, I am going to read. I promise.
Yeah, Sleeping Gods, which I ran, is probably what I would say my
Your best quest.
yeah. Hit the right balance of actors.
You're
Actually
really
speak
cutting in and out a
properly.
lot.
I'm not sure if that's my internet or if I'm just stuttering because I stutter.
It sounds like your internet, I think.
Well,
It does sound like you're stuttering a bit, actually, but it also sounds like
both.
your internet is.
I've got a touch of the autisms. It's okay.
What, just a touch?
Just
Mage, what the fuck was your question again? All right,
How much
preparation.
preparation should you do for a quest?
Hexer, go.
As a general rule, you should have at least 3 NPCs prepared, 2 locations, and at least some kind of framework for what kind of person you want the MC to be. I think MC is, well, I've talked about it a little bit, but you should have at least some idea how you want that, because that's basically how the people will interact with the world and should therefore not just be treated as an afterthought. What, of course, you should also have at least some idea how your stuff works, especially if you're using speculative fiction, but I wouldn't overstress for that, or you will end up like Metanon and never run for 2 years.
You actually,
Oh, yeah,
you actually plan
that's the thing a lot.
locations. What?
You don't? What?
No,
How do you
I.
not plan like vaguely? I suppose you plan them
I
out,
mean, extensively planning out locations in advance, like they're fucking characters.
but
Yes,
they could be if they're
they could
important.
locate the locations to find the characters.
I mean,
And
I
to
could.
a certain degree, they define your plot.
I mean, I suppose I could see like treating a city like a character. A city has a certain personality, has a certain
You mean
Yes.
way
you're
of
thinking of like
living.
rooms or
But
a
do you
particular,
mean
I don't know,
rooms?
dungeon or something?
No, not rooms, but
broad
essentially
locations.
have a certain idea where the next, let's say, 4 threads could take place conceivably. Because of course, even in a quest, there is a certain travel time. So essentially, think about what could the character conceivably reach in 4 threads, and then put some things there.
I mean, you can just why not just think it out generally and build it as you go.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But basically, you need to have certain key locations. For
Just have
example,
an idea of what you're doing, basically.
Exactly.
Don't go into it half-cocked. Because then you're going to start making shit up in the middle of a thread, and I can tell you that's not fun.
Yeah. Essentially, you need to have for yourself. You need to build a certain sense of
Consistency.
self-assurance
Yeah, there
and
needs to, like,
consistency, and there
your
needs to
setting
be
needs to be its
red
own
thread.
sort of thing, I think.
Exactly.
And not just something you pull shit out of the air from. That's really not fun.
Well, I think that to an extent I understand, but
So you're saying is you're shit, Spuds. You're a hack of a QM, and you're
I'm not a
well,
QM.
Proto QM.
Yet.
I'm sorry. You're going to be running something soon, and I've done all the shit Hexer has said many times over. So I'm
I
definitely
suppose.
going to run a
No,
better
I
quest
mean
than
it
you,
makes
basically.
sense. I wanted to see his perspective. I know I was
I just wanted to
exaggerating
tell you that.
my wish.
Okay, well,
I
we're
mean-
at 56 minutes.
Well,
we can.
do you think you
we got
should?
more to talk about?
Do you think you should actually create a personality for the place, like, and do character
You
development
should
for
have
places?
like a vague idea of what you want to do,
A personality
and then
for
let
the
the
player
players guide it.
character.
Or...
No, a personality for places, and have character
Yes.
development for
Ah.
the place where events are taking place. Like the general
Definitely.
attitude of the people in a collective place changes over time. So you could have
Mhm.
character development for the location itself, couldn't you?
Yes.
Planned out?
In fact, is, of course, I never quite got it far, I must admit that.
I
it was
actually
also
want to
kind of-
listen to Mage more than I want to listen to you, Hexer, right now. I saw you wanted to say
Oh,
something,
why did
Mage.
Directed him, then you fucking
That's
asshole.
perfect.
I
No,
was
that's
I was
fine,
asking
that's
the room
fine.
in general. I want to hear what Mage had to say
Hexer
before he was
just
interrupted.
talking
Now
about
I'm tempted to just
naturally.
not say anything because that was really fucking rude. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
that was probably cuntish.
This
It's
podcast is
fine.
literally built on us being rude to each other. That's
Yeah, but
part
that
of the
was some
humor.
concentrated
That was-
Asperger's. I mean,
You have
holy
to
fuck.
constantly look for new ways to be assholes to each other. That's
That's
what this podcast
that
is
wasn't
about.
intentional. That was just you being autistic.
No, I
Came out
was.
as really offensive.
It was.
Burn
It was.
engineering
It was
in a
deliberate,
way.
actually. I was
Okay,
trying
yeah,
to piss
alright,
Hexer off.
yeah, sure. After the fact, it was deliberate. I was merely pretending.
Oh,
to be
yes,
calm.
of course.
I don't have actual autism. Okay, guys. Look, I was just trying to spur discussion.
Anyways,
I'm not on the
Mage,
spectrum.
all
Okay,
eyes on
Mage, now you
you.
can answer it.
All eyes on you, Mage. Go ahead.
Fucking hell. My excuses to Hexer.
No problem.
He doesn't know what he's doing, I swear. He's just not trained correctly. Alright, I think it kind of depends on how you approach the quest. If you want to show a world, obviously you're going to plan out locations more. If it's more about a story focused on, if you want to tell a story, then you might not plan out locations as in detail, and you might lay your focus on characters. But that's something. Well, that's something that quests can explore pretty well because you can just approach it like a game, have a world, and plan out notes on what they can encounter in certain locations, and then just set them free there. And well, I know that you don't approach it like that, so that might be why you're having trouble with the idea, Spuds.
What am I not approaching like that? What is my approach?
Well, your approach to quests is pretty much that you're trying to focus on telling a story, isn't it?
Not at all.
Well, maybe I misunderstood you, but yeah, that's kind of the difference between Banished and other quests, because Banished is very much about the world more than
Yeah, it
about
is.
anything else.
But if
Put a
you
lot of work into it.
But Banished, there's a disconnect when it comes to the consequences of actions, I feel, in Banished
Do you
a lot of
really
the
think so?
time.
Please elaborate on that.
Well, it's a difficult thing to elaborate on, but I will try. I feel like...
Well, you fucking up.
What?
I said you fucking up should be funny.
I feel like in Banished there is not a lot of emotional... There aren't a lot of emotions that happen as a consequence of the results of actions beyond the immediate moment. Like, they pick up the mask and they pick up the mask and put it on, and there's a lot of shit about it in the exact moment where it happens, and people keep posting, oh, it's going to be like the mask again. But there's not a lot of emotional content, there's not a lot of like perspective that very important event added to the story. There's not a lot
You're
of...
saying Banished has too many like masculine elements. It focuses on the action.
No,
plot,
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying what I'm saying is that
and it
that
doesn't
would
have any like feminine, more
That's-
emotional shit. Yeah?
that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm a fucking robot here.
Well, that's
I don't
what I'm
do
saying,
the
'cause
feminine
I would
shit.
agree with you.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have anything like. Well, it does. It's just lacking in it. It focuses more on masculine elements, plot, world, action, etc., and doesn't focus nearly as much on the feminine emotions, characters, etc.
just shut up. God damn it. Fuck you.
What the fuck do you mean? That was completely legitimate. That was my honest, genuine opinion. Why are you getting mad at me?
Because the whole thing, masculine, feminine, it just confuses the issue.
That's from some fucking book I read at some point, and it's a convenient way of putting it. So I focus more on the hard aspects of a story. That's the plot, the world, the action, and less on the more emotional shit. Okay, there we go. There's a way that doesn't trigger your autism. Do you like that?
That's better.
More about hard things. This is relevant to my interests.
No, sorry, it's Quest.
Things into
It's
my
got
ear.
nothing to interest you. So basically, Soma is autistic and does not understand emotions. Shit, I broke character, whatever. Soma is autistic, doesn't understand characters, and it's a good thing he dropped his quest. Would you agree?
Did he drop it? Actually,
No,
Pretty much. He hasn't run in ages.
He occasionally has
He's
like
on
month-long
hiatus.
breaks, and that's what's happened
Hiatus.
now. He is
Fuck you,
just
I've talked to him in
shitposting already.
ISC. He does not give a shit about the quest at this point. Or he gives significantly less of a shit.
Well, he's probably going to
some sort of
update.
issue.
He's not going to update
He's-
more than once a month or something, but he
he
hasn't
wanted
dropped it.
to. Fuck you. He promised he was going to run more after that one thread in December. And then he spent an entire week playing Elite Dangerous. So fuck him.
nice.
Fuck him for playing a shit game. Okay, good. More data. I'll just ramble a bit into that. Have we got any questions? Questions for all QMs? Are there any plot point
the
scenes?
final question is the final question here is when is everybody running next, because it's the end of the fucking podcast.
Okay, so we're ending right now. We're ending an hour and 3 minutes in.
Yes. No, we're ending as soon as everybody said when they're running their next thread. I assume Hexer is never going to run his next thread, and neither are you. So Mage and Moloch, when are you running?
I'll run it at some point.
Mage and Moloch, when are you running?
Should be running in like 49. Get some sleep.
49 hours, you said?
14 hours.
Oh,
Free-
okay, 14
10.
hours. Good. All right. And what quest is that? Just so everybody knows.
Northern Beasts quest. 4chan's QST board.
And Mage, I think you're going to run soon into the future, you said, at
Yeah,
some point.
of course. I have to one up Moloch, so I'm running in 13 hours. That's Pokemon Quest on Anonkun, because I'm shit at names.
I am going to run pretty soon. Said I was going to run last week, and that was a lie.
Okay.
I'm going to be running.
You say I'm never running it, and then you say the same shit I did. All right, man.
I'm going to be running 2
Pretty
weeks from
soon,
now.
yeah. Like two, maybe 3. I don't know. Like give it a couple of months, maybe.
Yeah, I'll be running in
give
2
it
weeks. Yeah.
Quarter of a year, I guess. Maybe half a year. I got to take more time to plan it out. You know, give me a year or two, and then I'll give you a quest. It'll be great.
All right.
Give you a great quest.
Okay, that sounds great. What quest is that, by the way?
Revenant quest, friend.
I thought you were going to run that as soon as what was it? Alerny runs his shitty quest.
No. It was Alerny has to run it when I do, and then Catnap has to run it when we both do after 2 threads, and then
Okay, I
May
get
Allen
you.
is joining in at some point, and then some other guy is, and then someone else. Something's happening when someone runs a quest.
And I think the entire thing is based on that everybody knows that you're never gonna run.
Pretty much, yeah.
So that's it. The podcast is over.
Uh-huh.